Welcome, everyone. We are here to have our final women's fast pitch event right here in San Diego in our own backyard. So welcome. We love to have everybody here today, really honoring female founders in San Diego that are doing fantastic things. The Women's Fast Pitch is in their 5th year doing this. We have a mission to really bring the opportunities of funding to female founders. And despite COVID, we went bigger this year. It was a great opportunity to bring this virtual competition to 6 regions in 6 weeks. And this is our last one. It's a little bittersweet, but we have some amazing founders here with us today. And the winner today advances to the Women's Venture Summit, which is only about a week and a half away. Oh my goodness, we've been so excited about getting it all done. So, and that winner goes on to the Women's Venture Summit, as I said, and will, if they win the Women's Venture Summit pitch competition, they get a $10,000 investment and $30K in in-kind services. And how they are awarded that winner status at the Women's Venture Summit is different than tonight. We have some amazing judges today, but for the Women's Venture Summit, it's actually you, the audience, who become fund managers for probably a day. We'll have a hackathon and great gamification of due diligence overnight, so stay tuned for that. But really, Stella Labs is the machine behind all of this, and we are a not-for-profit business accelerator with a new executive director as of this year, Raven O'Neill, and we want to increase the representation of female founders around the venture table and funding opportunities. And we wanted to kind of just plant the seed that we want to have. We have 3 very special announcements at the very end of the event tonight that will actually really blow you away on really what we're trying to do is really enable more opportunities to be brought around the venture table for these founders. So without further ado, I wanted to thank and introduce the judges. We have judges now that have ranged from all over the United States, and here in San Diego, we have a wonderful set of judges today. So the first is Caitlin Wegge. She is a partner at Moodoo Investments. Hi, Caitlin, a private family-owned investment fund that invests in early-stage companies. She's also the new president of Tech Coast Angels San Diego chapter, and Tech Coast Angels is the largest angel network in the US. So thanks for being here, Caitlin. So the next introduction is Carrie Fair. She's a next judge, and she has actually been around for a while in our pitch competition. So thank you, Carrie, for always coming back. She's a marketing and strategy consultant and a sole proprietor of Stated. She has an MBA from UC San Diego School of Management, my own alma mater, and her passion is to find the insight that leads to big ideas. So hi, Carrie, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, you know the drill, so I really don't have to like introduce you, but you're awesome and thankful. I'm so thankful for you being here. And then next is Arush Sheikh. I think I said that right. So Arush, she came back for another session as well of our pitch competition. She is a former startup founder turned VC. She founded real estate startup based in Austin, Texas. And as a keynote speaker, advisor, and soon to be author, Arush is working towards empowering world-changing ideas and elevating women in the startup ecosystem. So Arush, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me again. I'm super excited to hear these pitches.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited too. And last but not least, Breanne McDonald, thank you for coming back again. And she is the president of the Northwest region of Keiretsu Forum, an angel investment community, the largest and most active venture investor globally, comprising over 50 chapters with over 3,000 active members. And I always love going to Breanne's events in Seattle. And thank you for coming to our event, even though it's virtual.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for having me be a part of it again. And I love seeing what women are coming up with these days. It's fantastic being able to be a judge. So thank you, Sylvia.
Thanks, Breanne. And now we would like to have another video to introduce the founders of today's San Diego Women's Fast Pitch. It will be a fun time to listen to these wonderful female founders. So how will it go? The pitch process is each founder has about 3 minutes to pitch their startup, and I've pitch prepped almost all of them. They didn't really need that much prepping, but they're all ready to go for the 3-minute pitch. And then there will be a quick Q&A by the 4 judges. And we want to make sure that everybody knows that the questions are going to be supportive, maybe clarifying, and definitely promotion focused. The judges have done it before, so they know what to ask. And it's really neat. The questions have been fantastic. I love that part of the whole pitch competition. And what we've done is also paired 2 of the judges with each startup so that they can ask more critical questions. They receive their PowerPoints 2 days in advance and are able to kind of look at it and make sure that there are some great critical questions to ask. So it's wonderful, that aspect of it. And then without further ado, we're going to have Jessica, I see you coming into the room, and we're really excited about having you part here. I just want to make sure that I'm seeing visual because I have to like go back and forth. Jessica, you're sharing your screen. Thank you. This is Jessica Tishue from Bliss Foods. Now you have the floor. However, can you share it? Yes, perfect. Thank you. You're on. You need to unmute. Jessica. Oh, it's okay.
Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted. You're ready to go.
Okay, perfect. My name's Jessica Tishue. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur and molecular gastronomist. I invented and am the CEO of Bliss Foods, the world's first ever edible superfood tableware that replaces the need for single-use plastics while boosting your health. Our products come in a variety of delicious bowls, cutlery, and cups, like this mocha cup here. Our amazing patent-pending technology allows our products to hold hot beverages in foods like hot coffee up to 15 hours without leaking. And it gets even better. Not only have we formulated our products to be super, super yummy, we've selected the highest quality organic, gluten-free, and plant-based ingredients to really pack our products with nutrients and boost your health. While this may seem like an innovative idea, we have certainly done our research and have proven a very strong product market fit for people who want to have their cup and eat it too. Our traction speaks for itself. With a slight whisper to the market, we already have the support of Surfrider Foundation and their 900 ocean-friendly restaurants, reputable universities, renowned music festivals, and restaurants across Southern California. This traction will continue to grow. Unfortunately, one of the reasons is because we've come to one of the most alarming points in history in terms of climate change, forcing cities everywhere to ban single-use plastics. The good news, though, consumers are demanding eco-friendly solutions. And when they purchase Bliss Foods, they instantaneously become an ambassador for the planet and future generations, a warrior for their health, and they get to have that sought-after social media moment because Bliss Foods are a novel Willy Wonka experience that they can Snapchat, capture, and blast out on social media to their friends. We will continue to leverage these consumer and behavioral insights, strong strategic partnerships, co-packing relationships, and the most cutting-edge manufacturing technology to efficiently scale from a California to a nationwide market while increasing our margins from 40 to 60%. And we have the competitive advantage to lead the market. Our complete portfolio of superior products, multiple patents pending and trademarks protecting our brand and IP, and we know that the barrier to entry is high. In fact, we've had to design and build our own custom machinery, and any competitor would have to do just the same. Also leading us to success is our specialized team of experts, including the advisory support of former founder and CEO of Eco Products, the world's #1 selling eco-friendly and compostable tableware. I've created a multiple award-winning business before, and I am so ready to do it again with Bliss Foods, leading from a place of passion and a strong mission and vision to leave this world a healthier and happier place. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present today. May the bliss be with you.
Wonderful job. I love
Thank
the pitch. I've heard it as it has evolved, so it's wonderful. Your question and answer will be led by Arush and Carrie.
Great, I'll jump in if that works.
Thank you.
Fabulous presentation, a lot of fun. Love the real-time demo. That's great. So tell me a little bit about distribution, because I see in the you've got a great kind of semi-cardboard packaging, but how do I get it out to customers? Am I having to put it in another package? Is that going to be eco-friendly? I'm curious how we get it.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Supply chain and distribution is something that's very top of mind for us. So in terms of distribution, we have metal tins. We are selling B2B, so we can fit quite a quantity in these metal tins. And then our customers will give those back to us when we refill and resupply orders.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, and so in B2B is your first strategy. Do you think B2C afterwards, or
yeah, B2B is definitely our first strategy. That's where we have a lot of current customer traction. We are exploring D2C though and selling online.
Great.
Thank you.
Hi, Jessica. That was a fantastic pitch. I absolutely loved the live demo. Nice touch. So quick question. Can you tell me about, a couple of different use cases for this product? So how have you seen this used for takeout, as that's been really popular with COVID-19? Have you seen this in dine-in? What kind of use cases are you imagining for this product?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. In terms of interest and use cases, we have the food service industry, which is restaurants and quick service, universities, events such as music festivals, for example. We have the bowls, we have the cutlery, we have the cups, and they come in sweet and savory flavors, a variety like sweet potato French fry or mocha. So there's a lot of possibilities. Not only can you put hot coffee in the cups, you can put smoothies, you could put soups in the bowls, acai. There's a variety of really fun ways that restaurants can pair their menu items with our products.
Amazing. And can you tell me about the cost per item?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So this is a premium product because it is organic, gluten-free, vegan, and it's a meal replacement. So it's going to be something around like a muffin. But in terms of unit economics, since we're launching in Q1 of 2021, I would prefer to have a private conversation if you want to get a more detailed answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Carrie or Rouge?
Good on my part. Thank you.
Carrie?
Thank you.
I love it. I'm just curious about, you obviously in market already, have kind of to follow on Rouge's point with COVID. Do you estimate this, kind of has elevated demand or accelerated it maybe even in terms of what your plans were?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So really, COVID has reinforced the opportunity for Bliss Foods and has shown us some new opportunities. I'll give you a few examples. So one of our customers, a restaurant in Encinitas, called us up and said, hey, can you get more products to us or get products to us sooner? Because she was seeing supply chain interruptions. She currently uses eco-friendly tableware. However, with China, most of it comes from China, and there was major supply chain operations. There's so much demand for takeout ware, and this is not only related to COVID. This will continue to grow because of our fast-paced lifestyle, but also actually, interestingly enough, Encinitas is a prime example. Cities are getting very strict, even with compostable, quote unquote, compostable tableware, because they're finding it has to go to a commercial facility and take 1 year to break down. And many cities don't have that infrastructure. And lastly, something interesting that emerged from COVID is that our customers said that they see this as a hygienic alternative. So imagine when you go to a coffee shop and you see a stack of coffee cups. Anyone can touch, sneeze, cough on these, but since these are a food item and they're served in a food safe manner, they're very hygienic.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
This in 2021. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Great pitch, great question and answer. Love it, love it. We're going to go on to the next pitch. And while we're going on and doing that transition, I would love for everybody to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, which you're on it right now. So go with like and subscribe. And of course, the chat needs to be all like, it has to be blowing up, people. We're in San Diego. We know that you're out there. We want to hear from you. If you have any questions too of the founders, put it in the chat because they're watching it as well. Our team is watching the chat. So just make sure that you are looking at that chat. And while you're in that chat too, you'll see the Audience Choice Award link. So please go on that. It's called slido.com, and make sure that you know which one to pick and to put down your vote. So there's audience choice, and that's sometimes the same person who wins and sometimes it's somebody else. So a great way to support and highlight the excellent founders that we have today. So the next pitch person, I just want to make sure that Kate is on. Oh, hi, Kate. Wonderful. I have to go back and forth between screens, so sorry about that. So our next pitching female founder is Kate Raiford of Prenursing Smarter. And I hope I said that correctly. So Prenursing Smarter.
Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen and I hear you.
Okay, awesome. Ready to go?
Yes, ready to go. You have the floor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate from Prenursing Smarter, online test prep so future nurses can study smarter to score higher and get into nursing school. So higher education in America right now is making news, and pre-nursing students have specific challenges even though we have a nursing shortage. I saw this firsthand when I taught and tutored in San Diego community colleges. The majority of nursing students are over the age of 25, and they're often balancing childcare, work, maybe at least 2 jobs, and they're trying to advance their career. So they face specific challenges here, and this is where Prenursing Smarter comes in. We give online test prep for busy students, and we focus on the T's, a nursing school entrance exam. We have a comprehensive online course and digital flashcard sets, so we give students a step-by-step system so they can stay on track. The average student increases their assessment scores by 25% when they begin our program to when they end. But my favorite is hearing from students who got into nursing school and they were able to study while their kid was down for a nap or on their lunch break. So we make money 2 ways. One is through the online course, and the second is with a revenue generating partnership with Quizlet. We are poised to scale in the middle of a pandemic. We've already surpassed our 2019 revenue. We've increased our average spend per customer and our overall customer base. The nursing school education market is expected to grow to $37 billion, and we are meeting these students right as they begin their path. There are millions of working learners in the United States, and many of them are concentrated in the healthcare fields. Nursing school is very competitive, and a high test score can make or break somebody's admission into nursing programs, and RN hiring will be increasing in the next 5 years. So we would love to be the resource for pre-nursing online education. We currently have self-paced tutoring, but we would love to expand and offer live online tutoring. This would create jobs for pre-nursing students as well as support students with peer-based tutoring. We'd also love to expand our partnerships and our curriculum, not only to other healthcare exams, but also to build more offline study options so that internet access isn't a barrier to education. Again, my name is Kate Raiford. I'm the founder and CEO of Prenursing Smarter. I recently graduated from Connectal at the Jacobs Center Accelerator and was a grant prize winner. I'm currently focused on building my team and a board of advisors, and I'd like to thank you for this opportunity.
Wonderful, Kate. Again, I've loved seeing your evolution and the economic development piece of your platform. So very exciting. And your leads of your question and answer are, again, Carrie and Aruj.
Hi, Kate. This is Aruj. So great pitch. I would just like to ask, how long does each customer use this product on average? So, what do their study habits look like? Do they study on average for 3 or 6 months? And, what does their usage look like?
Yeah, great question. So I've been getting data on that as well. I currently offer, usually students spend about 1 month to 3 months in the program. I'd say the average is about 3 months, and I do offer discounts to students who re-enroll. I have multimedia lessons. So some of the most popular ones are audio reviews where somebody can pop in for 20 minutes, get coverage for what they need, and then leave. And then workbooks are also very popular where students can download and get open-ended questions. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. And is there anything that you can do to potentially extend the customer lifetime value? So for example, are there any continuing education requirements for nurses? You know, can you help connect these students with potential job opportunities? So what are you looking for in the future?
Yes, absolutely. That is something I'm very much considering. So one option would be to help with prerequisite courses. Nursing schools across the program, across the country, usually have the same required courses. So helping students with that would be one step. And then also looking at how to help with career advancement, resume, and early job placement as well. Definitely something I'm looking at.
Fantastic.
Great. And lovely to meet you.
Hi.
And I love the microscope in the background. It totally fits what you're doing, and just is so needed, and especially, you know, everyone's work in nursing during this time. So thank you. I love this, and I love the fact that you're creating something that's, you know, so useful, and something that's useful offline, and just really thinking about a lot of the digital challenges are. So given that there are so many options, how do you get the word out? What is your marketing strategy going forward? Is there you know, more testimonials, or how do you intend to kind of build this crowd?
Great question. So I got very lucky early on with Pinterest. A lot of women are going to nursing school and they use Pinterest, so that brought in a lot of early customers. The revenue generating partnership with Quizlet is also great. They have 50 million monthly users, and so I not only sell really affordable study options on their platform, but it also helps direct traffic to my website and student enrollment that way as well. The next step would be to really get better at digital marketing. I'm working with a consultant for that, and like really amping up the organic growth. And I'd love to bring on somebody to help with kind of the community aspect and just feeling like it's an online space for people.
That's great. Yeah. And do you see kind of a community management end of this, or community forum? I mean, akin to your own kind of Facebook group or such, to kind of build that within the platform too?
Exactly. I can do some of it within the platform, and I think that would be ideal. The challenge right now is that everything comes through me, and I definitely need to make sure that I'm bringing somebody on to do that. So that would be ideal in the next year or so.
That makes sense. Yeah, definitely taking on what you can handle. And then one more to build on kind of what Aruj is saying too is, yeah, thinking about the lifetime of that customer. But then are you looking at doctors? Are you looking at other verticals too, or other kind of professions that would come after this?
Yes. So I'm looking at possibly helping students in nursing programs. So like as they graduate from this, helping them with nursing school and making some early connections there, but not sure what that looks like. The other option would be to do more kind of where they are now. So there's CNAs, so certified nursing assistants. That's a very entry level technical skill that people need. So that might be an area where I look as well to kind of get the back end of the help instead of forward, if that makes sense.
Well, fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also your the community tribal aspect of it is really important in your mission. I just answering your own question. But
yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's just phenomenal. So if you don't mind answering that, that just gives me the goosies. So go ahead.
To answer how to
that you're part of the tribal tribal lands or tribal.
Oh yes, absolutely. So yeah, I'm an enrolled member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, and I have just loved. I've been able to go where I am because of family support, and it's just my education takes me where I need to go. And so I would love to be able to partner with Native colleges and be able to train more Native nurses to work in the healthcare system. And that's one of the reasons why I'm also looking at less offline options so that in case there's internet access issues, people can still be supported.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to interject that.
Thank you. It's not often something I lead with, so thank you for
yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, well, thank you so much. It was great. Thank you, Rouge. Thank you, Kate. Thanks, Carrie. And we're off to the next one. You did a great job, Kate. The next pitch is from Xiang of Softsonics. And also I wanted to just shout out while she's getting ready is that we have some amazing sponsors who are part of Women's Venture Summit. In COVID, it's been incredibly difficult to find sponsorships and people who are partnered up with us, but we have found them and they are amazing partners in what we're trying to do and wanted to just shout them out. It's Morgan Stanley and Cooley, UBS, and JP Morgan. So thank you so much for aligning your vision with our vision to get this summit and this pitch competition really in the hands of entrepreneurs and investors out there. So thank you. And I think Zhu is on and she is sharing her screen. I see your screen. I see you. And I know you're going to do amazing. I love pitch prepping you. So go ahead.
All right, we are Softsonics and we're interested in changing your blood pressure measurement. 1 in 3 Americans have hypertension, but did you know that up to 30 million Americans are at risk of misdiagnosis? It is an absolute tragedy that insufficient blood pressure data has led to problems in diagnosis and treatment. Getting an accurate blood pressure profile is a grand challenge in the multi-billion-dollar healthcare industry. Why? Because your blood pressure fluctuates all the time. Current cuff-based measurements just capture one single snapshot in time. So even if you measure religiously every day, it won't tell you the full story. What's worse, for some patients, the stress associated with seeing a doctor can temporarily raise their blood pressure. And when they go home, their blood pressure drops back to normal. This is so-called white coat hypertension, and up to 30% of the patient population have them. That means 30% of people are at risk of misdiagnosis and over-medication, costing $2,000 per year for a person that actually shouldn't be treated. I'm Shu, a medical device engineer and co-founder of Softsonics, and together with my colleagues who are experts in Softsonics, who are experts in wearable electronics and software development at UC San Diego, we have built a unique technology to solve this problem. All you need is a soft patch that sticks onto your skin like a Band-Aid. The patch is based on a pending technology published in Nature Biomedical Engineering, a top research journal in the field. Unlike traditional blood pressure cuffs, it delivers continuous data, day and night, continuously, and sends the data to doctors, providing a solution that's easy for the patients and time-saving for doctors. Over the long term, we save money for everyone in the game: insurance, hospitals, and patients. Our growth will be driven by the cost reduction for insurance, so we will start with Medicare and expand through integrated networks like Kaiser Permanente. Our first adopters are cardiologists and primary care doctors who are currently using bulky ambulatory blood pressure monitors for their patients. Yes, you guessed it. This clunky thing needs to be worn for a full 24 hours, even when you're sleeping. That's why doctors and clinical researchers, including those from UC San Diego, Stanford, Oxford, UChicago, and Johns Hopkins, and many more, have signed up for our product updates. Our long-term vision is to roll it out as a screening tool for a high-risk population. With over 50 million patient population, the market potential is over 3 billion. The future of blood pressure measurement is already here. Help us enable accurate blood pressure anytime, anywhere. Thank you.
Caitlin, I think that I just want to make sure that Caitlin can get unmuted. Oh, perfect. And can you unmute? Okay, perfect. Thanks, Caitlin. Go ahead.
Great presentation. Thank you so much. Can you talk a little bit about the device and the platform? So you mentioned that patients wear it, but then there's something that doctors are doing to actually monitor it. So is there something that the doctors need to be trained on with this device added into normal protocols in their day?
That's a great question. So we envision the workflow to be the patient will just put on the patch like a Band-Aid, and the patch will send the data wirelessly to a smartphone, and a smartphone will sync the data automatically over to the cloud, which will then be transferred to a doctor's office. So doctors won't really have to be trained specially just for using this device. They will be just looking at the data presented to them and also just actionable data. We are not going to flood everyone with 24 hours continuous blood pressure data for all their patients. And that's what we envision the workflow would be.
Okay. So you're creating that pathway then that would need to transfer through, and then we need HIPAA compliance with that?
Right, exactly. And that's why we introduced one of our team members, Amar Yagi, who has experience in data security. He is helping us to ensure a HIPAA compliance for our patient data.
Okay, great. Caitlin?
Yes, thank you so much. Wonderful presentation. Quick question about the market. Thank you for walking us through, the typical blood pressure scenarios and how things can affect it. But who exactly makes a good candidate for this continuous monitoring, right? It's not something. Tell me a little bit more about how somebody would come to be needing this patch.
All right. So our long-term goal is that everyone who is at risk of hypertension, basically that means everyone who's over the age of 50, can be a potential customer. However, we want to access the market initially from the patients who are actually using cuff-based monitors. So that's a clunky, boxy thing that you see on the presentation, and that's used for diagnosis of patients with potential white coat hypertension and also mask hypertension, meaning they have home blood pressure levels that's different from their office measurement values.
Great. And then just really quickly, can you tell me a little bit about the intellectual property? Tell me about who owns it, and then do you have any idea on the unit economics of this?
All right, thank you for the question. So in terms of IP, like I mentioned, we have patent pending technology. So the patent is, we have patent pending in the US and also globally. And the university currently holds the IP, but we have a negotiation process ongoing with the university to license the IP to the companies exclusively. And in terms of the cost, basically, we are discussing with prototyping partners to see if we could reduce the cost, because right now we are doing everything in an RD lab and things can be costly for now. So our plan is to launch in a small batch first, and then as we grow in our revenue and in our customers, we'll scale up to about 10,000 units up, and that's one of the cutoffs for reducing cost. So over the long term, we expect the cost to be reduced well below $100 per piece.
Good. Great.
Okay. Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, go ahead, Breanne.
So what does your FDA approval path look like? Is this a 510K with a blood pressure device being the predicate, or would you need to go a de novo route?
Great question. So we will need to go with the de novo route just because we don't have any predicate based on ultrasound. And this is one of the challenges that we face, but we will definitely secure advisory in the field of regulatory, with the regulatory experience to help us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Great question, Breanne. Thanks for asking that. Well done, Shu, and just fantastic presentation. Thank you so much. So going on to the next wonderful founder. And I just wanted to remind people that follow us on social media, chat it up in the chat room, and don't forget that audience choice. And I hope that the judges are putting in their scores. I didn't even ask you between all the pitches because you guys are all super fast all the time scoring the pitches, but I know that you guys are experts. So I think that you are fine. I want to make sure that Breanne is on. Wonderful. So that's fabulous. And what else could I say? The chat room is good. You know about the audience choice, and follow us on social media all over the place, Stella Labs _org. So yeah, Breanne, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, you're off mute. You're good. You're sharing your screen, and the floor is yours.
All right, awesome. I'm Breanne Acio, CEO of Sekr, your gateway to the outdoors. You're living my dream. I probably hear this statement more than almost anyone, and not because I'm rich and famous yet. But because for 6 months out of the year, I live in a van. And yes, sometimes it's down by the river. Millennials are leading the charge in the new camping movement, and they're no longer waiting for retirement to live their best lives. They're just doing it a little bit differently than the traditional RVer. I bet most of you on this call have thought about planning an RV or camping vacation in the past few months. The camping and RV industry has seen more new customers since March than ever before. We're seeing record-breaking sales of RVs and camping gear, and the local REIs look a little bit like grocery stores did when the pandemic first began. But this market is not new. In 2018, 80 million American families spent $167 billion on camping. They see images on social media like #vanlife, and they expect to have experiences like this. But in reality, they look more like this. Or worse, they never even make it outdoors. Trip planning is the #1 problem for all campers. We have to toggle between up to 16 different platforms, and we still can't find the information we're looking for. You see, there's no shortage of RVs or tents to buy or rent, or even places to use them. The bottleneck is in access to finding these destinations, and that's where we come in. Last year, we built a mobile platform that aggregates the best campsite locations, amenities, and reviews for outdoor travel destinations. We offer reservations on private land like this, which is similar to Airbnb, but for camping, and a freemium model with memberships to access the best locations and services we offer. With our beta, we've garnered tens of thousands of organic users. We're generating 10,000 a month in sponsorships, and hundreds of influencers have signed on to help us grow. Last month alone, we increased our active users and contributors by over 60%. Why? Because the value we bring cannot be found anywhere else, and people want to be part of the movement we're building. I myself am a 3-time founder in outdoor recreation, influencer, and a thought leader. My co-founder, Dr. Jessica Schisler, has spent the last 4 years living full-time in her van. We know how to serve the outdoor travel industry better than any 2 people alive today. And together, we've built a community of hundreds of thousands of outdoor enthusiasts. We also have amazing capital partners like Backstage Capital, Techstars, Andy Ballister of GoFundMe, and our very own host, Sylvia Ma. Currently, we're raising a pre-seed round for which we're 80% committed. The world is changing, and we are years ahead of the curve. Please reach out if you'd like to see how you can join the adventure.
Sorry, wonderful job. Wonderful. I've seen the whole evolution. I'm seeing all these evolutions of pitches. It's wonderful. So your question and answer will be led by Aruj and Breanne.
Hi, Breanne. I'll jump in. So great pitch. And I would like to start off with, your go-to-market strategy is fantastic. It sounds like you have a community of people that love the product and are willing to share it with their friends and become real advocates for the product. And I think that's a fantastic way to get started with any company. And so the question that I have for you is, how often does the average person go camping? Can you talk a little bit about how often your users use this product and about the stickiness and that sort of thing of the product or of your app?
Yeah, totally. So this is a great question. So we have this massive market of 80 million people. About 30% of them go camping more than 2 times a year, and 20% in addition to that go camping more than 3 times a year. So we are specifically focused on that portion of the market which goes camping 2 or more times per year. What we're seeing in our data is that about 20% of our weekly active users are using the app at least 2 unique days out of the year, out of the week. And we call those are our power users, and they're using it twice a week.
Great.
All right. So thanks, Breanne. It was great to see you again. I got to see you pitch at the summit last year, and I was curious, what milestones have you hit since last year's summit?
Oh man, what milestones have we not hit? I feel like it's been we're a whole new company since last year. So we finally have our like the best tech team I could ask for on a shoestring budget. Like we're shipping fast, we're moving really quickly. We joined Techstars in the beginning of this year, so we got into the Techstars Anywhere program and we finished it in May. We brought in all of our capital partners this year. We hit 1,000, like we have this goal of 1,000 weekly active users organically we didn't really do any marketing to get it. And we hit that. We're doing 10K MRR. So we've hit quite a few milestones this year.
That's fantastic. It's great to hear good updates like that. With your pricing model and conversion rate, so I saw your conversion rate's 14% as of last month. What's your pricing model and what makes a good converted user to get them converted to revenue?
Yeah. So the cool thing about campers is that they do it their entire life, right? So they're not buying or going 1 year and then never going again. They're going 1 year and going every year for the rest of their life. Our conversion to paid user from a free user to a paid user is 14%, and we're charging $36 a year or $4.99 a month. This year, a few months ago, we actually cut that so that we can reintroduce it later this year with this round that we're doing. What we realized is that we introduced it too early. The good news was with that is that we had a conversion rate of 14% with a crappy product. So imagine what we can do with a really great product. And I do believe that the $36 a year is low. So we'll be able to increase that.
Aruj, you have more questions?
Yeah, so how are you aggregating the information about these campsites? Are you pulling this information from Google Maps, with web crawlers, user-generated information?
The key to this space is user-generated content. All the other platforms, like I mentioned, people use a ton of different platforms. They're all getting their information from 2 primary public APIs. Because of that, it's not exhaustive. So there are hundreds of thousands of locations in the United States that are not in a database. And that's what we're gaining through our van life community with UGC.
Fantastic. Do you think this is something, that you can use to engage your users further? So, take those twice a week usage points and then turn that into 3 times a week or something of that sort. Is that something that you are looking into?
Yeah, so definitely contests. We have a really great advocate program that we're going to be starting pretty soon. And really, I mean, we started with community first and we serve the community and the community helps us. I think my co-founder and I, our specialty is really in moving people, in like galvanizing people, and we've done that thus far, and that's how we'll continue to build our business.
Fantastic, great pitch.
Thank
you. Real quick, can you just talk about how you've been able to capitalize on COVID this year with how many people have gone camping to really help drive the users?
So it's really, COVID has it organically boosted everything that we have. The issue, I think, with timing, our issue was that when COVID first started, we were onboarding our dev team. We had just gotten money in the bank, so we were not in a position where we could just mass market. Now we're finally in a position where we have like a 4.8 star rating on the App Store, and we can market. But to answer your question, it's just to continue doing what we're doing for the users that we have, And we've seen that by improving our product, like really we're in execution mode. So like by improving our product, we're seeing consistent increases like up and to the right of usage.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any other questions from Rouge or Brianna? No? You guys are good. Well, thank you, Breanne, so much for a wonderful pitch and always a great question and answer. Thanks, Breanne. And coming from your van, right, too. So wonderful.
Yep.
Thanks, Breanne.
Thank you.
So when we were switching over, just wanted to remind people for a couple things. Make sure you vote for the audience choice. And you'll be hearing after all the pitches a little information about our boot camp. So with Women's Venture Summit is run by Stella Labs and Stella Angels, but as I'm a partner also at Astor Ventures, we really increase the opportunity for founders and investors to get trained, to go through boot camps. So you'll hear a little bit more about them later on, but just kind of planting the seed that we do have founder boot camps, which are Get to Even founder boot camps, and investor Close the Gap investor boot camps. And we'll be talking about them later, but I just wanted to plant the seed. We're here to really increase the opportunity for founders and investors to connect, to make great connections and also write checks and make it easier for them. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce you to the next pitching wonderful lady. This is, hi, Kay Olmstead from Nano PharmaSolutions. Go ahead, Kay. I'm
very happy to share about.
Great, so Kay, yeah, I can hear you and I'm seeing your screen. And I see you, and you're wonderful. You're ready to go.
Thank you. I'm very happy to share about revolutionary nano technology for drug delivery. My name is Dr. Kay Olmstead. We make good drugs great through nano formulation. As you can see here, 3 different size salt shows different solubilities. After the same amount of time, rock salt remains as solid while table salt is clearly dissolved. Likewise, we can make drug molecules dissolve faster by making them 1,000 times smaller than micron size. We make drug particles to nanometer size so they can dissolve quicker and get absorbed into our body better. We nanosize any drugs by unique phase transition technology. Unlike other nano formulations, we do not use any chemicals or solvent, so it is environmentally safe. This platform technology is perfect for delivering asthma or COPD drugs deep into the lung, which is very important in this COVID-19 pandemic time. Our nano formulation can be further turned into any dosage forms: IVs, pills, topical, eye drops, nose drops, or inhalers. We serve 2 markets. On one hand, we partner with early-stage drug development companies to fast-track their new drug candidates for human clinical trials, as shown here in this circle. For generic markets, and we formulate differentiated formulation that's coming off the patent using nanotechnology so they can be safer and better than the original drugs. We are working hard in our San Diego lab generating new formulations using this phase transformer. We also have testing lab on site. Our IP status is strong and robust, and I'm happy to report that our team is diligently working on to generate new data for IPs, which is our main asset. Our team has combined 6 FDA-approved drugs and 22 patents. I personally work with every single one of these founding teams and handpick them for success. And we also have leading industry scientists advising us. Nanomedicine market is huge, and it's expected to grow to $250 billion by 2025. With our revolutionary phase transition nanotechnology, we can improve drug delivery to our bodies. We are the only physical nano companies, and all the other technologies out there are chemical nano. The founders have raised $600,000 so far, and we are producing in San Diego lab. We are revolutionizing drug delivery industry with environmentally friendly nanoformulation. My name is Dr. Kay Olmstead. We are here to make good drugs great. Thank you.
Wonderful job, Kay. Love seeing all the changes you've made in your pitch and did a fantastic job. So your leads of the question answer are Caitlin and Carrie.
Great. Well, thank you so much. This is super interesting. I'm very familiar with chemical delivery of nano technologies. Can you talk a little more specifically about the actual innovation and how you are delivering it? Because this is still the question in my mind. I would love to learn more.
With 30 seconds or less, I'll try.
Yes. Try your best.
We take a solid drug particles, crystal, white powder, if you will, and put it into the sample chamber. And inside of this super low pressure, 10 to the minus 6 torr, which is close to molecular vacuum, and we slowly heat it at the triple point where solid, liquid, gas coexist, it vaporizes. Think of it as just going from solid to gas, poof, on the very extremely low pressure. And the vacuum conditions in vapor stage, these drugs exist as a single molecules. And we capture them out of air, out of thin air, into this mannitol, which is fast moving. And you just have to imagine it. And I wish to share you the clip, which we have an endoscope camera so we can watch it real time. And what's the product of it is mannitol spray drying, 100 micron size. These are very small mannitol. Mannitol is just sugar alcohol like xylitol, sorbitol, mannitol. These are natural compounds in every drug, pretty much every drugs. So we are using ubiquitous mannitol to capture the nano-sized molecule onto it. And it's all happening under 100 degrees, very gentle, because it's extremely low pressure. And we can put that drug-coated mannitol into IVs, creams, inhaler, which is dry powder inhaler. That's my passion in this asthma and COVID patients. And that's in a nutshell, but the detail is all in the patent and you can read about it.
Great. And then just really another question, kind of you talking about the process. What does your footprint look like? Like I'm assuming you'll specifically do out licensing with different pharmaceutical companies, but what does your footprint look like to make this process happen?
In the physical footprint?
Yeah.
The machine I have shown you in the picture, it's about 10 feet by 10 feet. It's sitting in our workshop and it is sizable. Yeah, it's about 7 feet tall, but it is much smaller than spray dryers or HME, which are, our competitors, if you will. We don't consider them as competitors, but they are like 3 stories tall. But ours can be much, much smaller. Think about, I'm looking at my big desk and it's about twice as big as this. Think about 10 feet by 10 foot, 7 feet tall. And it has 5 vacuum pumps, including turbo vacuum, to pull that pressure down to 10 to the minus 6 torr.
Was it something that a pharmaceutical manufacturer would be able to purchase and use, or is it?
We would be licensing it out, and it's easy to build, but we are the only one. We have one of the kind in our San Diego lab, and we'll be designing for production.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
I might have more follow-up questions offline.
Okay, great. Anytime, come and visit us. We are in Sorrento Valley.
Great, thank you.
I have just a couple to add to that. Love this. Love also this idea of this turbo vacuum. I'm just thinking of home uses of all the different ways you can use products and minimize things. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type of moment. But I love this. So tell me, what going forward, your next milestones? You obviously have a powerhouse of medical experts. Do you see bringing on, sales or ops, or, what are we going to expect here in the next, either quarter or I guess year out and more?
Well, we need to find a strategic partnership with the pharmaceutical manufacturer. We are currently non-human use. We can make animal samples, but with the GMP and regulatory industry, we decided not to go to make our own human clinical sample or even drugs. So we will be partnering with the contract manufacturers who's already doing it and have a robust, solid system. And we already in talk with the worldwide UK company and as well as US companies. So that will be our next step, that we can take this non-human great formulation. We help with the preclinical stage drugs now, which is in the animal studies.
Gotcha.
When they go to the human, we have to go with them to supply their clinical trial material. And so we are working hard to solidify our talks with the strategic partners.
That's great. And any non-confidential information you can share about any potential COVID drugs or nanotechnology with COVID vaccines or anything?
No, we do not do vaccines. We're strictly small molecule drugs. Okay. And there are a lot of good companies working on the vaccines and also the extreme sick population and the intubated patients. We are not in that space. What we do is for regular asthma and COPD patients who are vulnerable in this respiratory stress with the COVID. Mm-hmm. As we all know, the COVID attacks our lung system first. So there are a lot of people who are not using the inhaler properly, because if you're using meters dosing or liquid, you are not doing it properly and you may not be getting enough drugs. And we are really going to revolutionize the inhaler device to using dry powder inhalers. And dry powder inhalers already in the mannitol. Mannitol carry the drugs and they put it in the capsule and they put it in the cartridge. Our drugs already on mannitol and we fill it into the capsule really quickly. And it's just ready-made for our technology. And I think everybody should change to dry powder inhaler.
That sounds incredible. Well, best of luck as you get this out too. And the education behind it is going to be so pivotal, right? In terms of the advantages that you guys bring to the table. So
yeah, we are writing blogs and white papers. And since our, patients, our customers are pharmaceutical companies in this COVID time, that's our challenge, that we cannot really go out there and talk to these pharmaceutical companies.
Well, thank you.
Great, Caitlin. Any other questions, Caitlin, or you guys are both okay?
I'm okay for now, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Kay, so much. You did fantastic. Great question and answer. Always love hearing more about your company. Wonderful. So we're back. We're down to our last pitching founder. And as we transition, just wanted to remind everybody, as I said at the very beginning, we are only a week and a half away from the Women's Venture Summit. It's actually my favorite day of the whole entire year. And now because of COVID, it's 2 days. So I get to love on my community and my ecosystem and the ecosystem that we all have collectively grown as investors and as entrepreneurs together. So we're really excited. That is next Thursday and Friday, the 18th and 19th of September. So join us. I know you joined us today, so join us again for the Women's Venture Summit. And we have Gelena on the call, so that's great. Gelena, thank you for being on. And this is Gelena Lifchitz. Is that okay? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was like, oh, wonderful. I said it right. Okay, of TealHeal Mobile Medical. And the floor is yours. I see your screen and I hear you. So you're off and ready to go.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for the opportunity to introduce you TealHeal, the company enhancing the success of telehealth encounters. So as you just heard, my name is Gelena Lifchitz. I'm a physician by training, and I started a company providing a tech-based house calls overseas. So when I relocated to US, I saw many inefficiencies in the healthcare system that can be addressed with the same technology. As you might know, about 1 billion telehealth encounters will happen this year, but almost half of them are very limited. They require lab diagnostics, they require imaging for the quality care. So here is our solution. We equip physicians and nurses with a clinic in a bed. This clinic is delivered to patients in their homes and is capable of providing the same amount of care than an urgent care center or even an emergency room. Our know-how is in integration. So we created a system that is plug and play for physicians and nurses, allowing them to use the most comprehensive diagnostic devices and the data from these devices to be integrated with telemedicine, with their payer system, and with external electronic health record system. And what's also important is to get this data to the patient so they will own it and can access it at any time. So basically, we enable what we call one-stop shop care. And it means that the nurse brings the clinic to you, a physician oversees a nurse over the screen, gets the result immediately, and can start the treatment with no delay. We are a revenue generating company. We anticipate 750K of revenues this year. Our basic model is revenue sharing with our clients, and we move from the smaller clients like independent physician practices and concierge medicine groups into bigger clients right now like healthcare systems and insurance plans. Our current contracts makes us anticipate to hit the 70 million milestone in 5 years from now. We believe that we are not just a win-win, but a win-win-win. So we are win for patients since the care is provided in the safety and comfort of home. We are win for providers since it's a better quality of care, faster results, and also $450 on average, $450 per visit of additional revenue. But we are also a win for the payers since we can provide identical care at a fraction of cost compared to what this care will cost in the emergency room. Here is our company in a glance. So we have our Teresa, our business development director, Luke, who is the operations workaholic. We have our own computer geek, our platform architecture, Dave. We have Shauna, who is entrepreneurs, and our advisor, Dr. Pakia, who is a digital health guru. So we are 3 years old. We are revenue generating. We raised 800K up to date in convertible notes. We anticipate break even in 1.5 years from now. And our ask is 1 million. It towards commercial scale up mainly. So looking into the future, our potential exit might happen through the acquisition by a large healthcare provider or an insurance plan. Thank you for your attention.
Wonderful job. I love the pitch.
Thank you.
And love how it's a win-win-win-win-win. I love that. So your question answer will be led by Breanne and Caitlin.
Thank you.
All right, great job. Can you talk a little bit about your ideal customer and who they are within the medicine they practice, and then how you're focused on scaling this? Is it by region? Is it by practices? How do you go about that?
That's a great question. And honestly, it will probably develop from the ideal customer of today into a different type of a customer in a couple years from now. So right now we bring these tools for mainly concierge and independent healthcare practices. So let's say it's a physician group of 3 to 5 physicians who really want their own independence and the better quality of care. And they need the tools to scale up without big initial investment. So our profit sharing model is something that allows them not to risk their current business and to increase their practice reach. But since we started negotiating right now with systems like, for instance, insurance groups, So they are interested in having this on a larger scale, like the one group that we are now in talks with, they want to bring it to 10 different providers that they have in the region. So probably it's going to be like one contract with a risk and profit sharing in it. Another example of a more like a future client that we are working towards is bringing this into academic setting. So for instance, we are bringing this platform to teach medical students and to teach residents to provide what they call digital healthcare right now, the future of the healthcare. So this is another way to scale it up. It's not just region by region. We right now focus mainly on California, but it's also from going from like small independent practices into big vertical groups like Kaiser, groups like Sharp Healthcare. So they show interest and traction in what we are bringing to them. I believe that's the scale up that we anticipate to happen. Did it answer your question?
Kind of. Caitlin?
Yeah, so I had a quick question. You were talking about the 20% of the revenue from the total cost of the services. How are you getting that number? And were you able to get a fair market value estimate on that? Yeah,
so just an average visit with this technology brings about $750 to a provider. So about $130 goes to TealHeal. So if you think about it, an average practice, small practice, makes about 100 of these visits. So $12K per month per practice that we can generate. And are compared to, there is no kind of a clear leader with the same technology, so we cannot compare it to somebody else's price. But what we can compare it is to the lease and SaaS models that are on the market. Usually, I would say the practice will pay almost the same amount of money if they will lease similar type of equipment, and there is no similar platform at all. So something that we can compare it to is probably what practices are being built for their billing services, for their practice management services. So I would say it's an average, a little bit lower than an average on the market, but there is no exact same service yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I know of a couple companies where they do ship out some of the, some of the equipment that you were showing. Maybe not quite a robust platform. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they might be doing something a little similar, but I haven't spent a lot of time to really dig into what you're doing different. Can you talk a little bit more about that innovation, about that that sustainable competitive advantage that you kind of were touching on when you were answering my last question?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So you're right. There are companies that are trying to build upon what's called remote patient monitoring. So there are new payer codes to bill for this. And that's why there are companies who would ship very simple equipment, very basic one. And this is equipment like blood pressure monitors, maybe some glucometers. So this is an equipment that is used by the patient themselves. And definitely there is a space for this. But what happens when the patient identifies a problem, or who trains the patient to use this equipment? So we see ourselves as part of the continuum of care that can be either pre-remote monitoring or post-remote monitoring. But we are more like first of all, there is a human touch in our situation. We have a nurse, trained physician, trained practitioner who comes and does this. Secondly, the amount of care that we can provide, it cannot be compared to the simple monitoring devices. So they're good for the stable chronic patients. What we use can be used for the new patients, the patients with acute conditions, with exacerbations of their chronic conditions. So all these situations when it's more like an urgent, but not life-threatening. So in this space, as I said, there is no direct comparison, but maybe the closest is that company called Heal out of Los Angeles. They're providing house calls with some technology that they've developed internally. There is a company outside of the state called Dispatch Health, also doing like urgent care in homes. But those companies are in their, they're providing the care, they're providers. We see ourselves as enablers. We want almost every practice to have the tools to provide that type of advanced care.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for the question.
Any other questions for Breanne?
I have one more question. So congratulations on having 750,000 in revenue. That's a great milestone to hit. How many customers does that equate to, and how many more customers do you need to be able to get to that, 1.5 million break even point?
Great question. Thank you. So right now we have 6 customers, and by customers we understand they're physician groups.
Mm-hmm.
So we need another 10 to get to our break-even point, and our big milestone of 70 million can be hit with 50 customers.
All right. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Great. Love the direct answer. Like, this is how many, this is how we're going to get to break even. So thank you so much, Gelena. So now we have finished all of the wonderful pitches. Yay, we're done with that portion of it. And the next portion will be twofold. Yeah, thank you, Carrie, for the thumbs up and the clapping. I'm clapping as well. Wonderful pitches by everybody and wonderful question and answer. I mean, you judges are, my colleagues, and I appreciate all the mindfulness and the questions that are so great for these founders to think differently and maybe answer, but then say, okay, I didn't know that very well, or I did know that really great. I need to explain that better. So really great questions. So what's next is that the judges will go on and deliberate in a breakout room. So we'll be disappearing, and just wanted to remind the judges that keep your screens on right now, because when we go into the breakout room, we want to make sure that we can actually see each other. So a little operational glitches along the way that we've learned. And this is your last chance to vote for audience choice. So you'll see on the chat in YouTube all the audience choice links for each individual pitching founder. So please, please, please go there, do your audience choice. We want to hear from you, all of you that are on the YouTube live. So very excited about that. And without further ado, we during this time of us deliberating with the judges, we have two special guests. We have Vidya Dinamani, who is my partner at Ad Astra Ventures, and I think that Anna Bermudez is on. Yes, she is. Wonderful. And Anna Bermudez, who is the founder of Go Tag It, one of my portfolio companies, but also she helps us run Stella Angels. So Anna and Vidya will be talking about next week's Close the Gap Investor Bootcamp and the Women's Venture Summit. So I'm going to leave you in wonderful hands, and I'm going to go off with the judges to discuss the wonderful founders that pitched just right now. So see you in a little bit.
Hi, everyone. Real quick, I'm the Executive Director, Raven O'Neill, Executive Director of Stella Labs. I have invited Vidya and Anna to talk about the 2 events with me. The Investor Bootcamp is the event that leads up to Women's Venture Summit earlier in the week. It is an event for accredited investors to learn about bias. So I'll leave it to them to talk about that. I have not been. I didn't go last year. So.
No, I'd love to share a little bit more about what this is. So leading up to the amazing Women's Venture Summit last year, we decided to bring in a group of investors and have a conversation about investing in women. So Sylvia, as my business partner at Ad Astra Ventures, along with Alison Longpatine, we about 3 years ago decided to form Ad Astra because we wanted to invest in more women. And we knew that there were things holding us back in the way that we talked, in the way that we asked questions, the way that we did due diligence. And so we did a ton of research. We came together and we uncovered so much interesting information. There's all the stats and the data that Sylvia shares with you all the time. But personally, as an investor, what was shocking, especially to me and Alison, I think Sylvia is definitely more in tune with investing forward with women. But Alison and I found that we were guilty as women who wanted to invest in women, guilty of certain implicit biases. And so we worked through them and we put a toolbox together that we think is really useful and we use in our investment thesis and when we bring women into our boot camps as well as our accelerator. So given that we had amassed all this information over a couple of years, we thought we need to share this with other investors. And so last year we put our first investor workshop. It was in person, that we'll miss this year, but we found 25 other investors that really wanted to learn with us. And so we put together this event where we share the research in a really fun way. It's not boring, trust us, we're not academics. We share the research, we have some exercises, we learn some frameworks and some tools, and then we get to practice. So we're so used to entrepreneurs, just like now, coming in and pitching, and then they go off and they judge. Well, this time the entrepreneurs pitch, but the investors have homework. They have to go into the due diligence meetings and they have to ask different questions. They have to try on different ways of communicating, of asking questions, and of connecting with female entrepreneurs. So this investment workshop is a way to get hands-on experience doing the kinds of things that Sylvia and Alison and I have been doing for the last few years. And so we're putting it on again. Because it's virtual, we've broken it up into 2 3-hour sections. We still have about 15, I think, entrepreneurs signed up to pitch. And so there'll be the hands-on experience, there'll be the one-on-ones, there'll be tons of really interesting conversations. And it's a way to connect with investors, with each other, but also learn a very different way of investing. So that's the overview. So Raven, what else can I answer?
I actually was gonna, I think Anna attended last year, correct?
I did.
What was it like?
Yeah, so it was awesome, right? I think the way I see Ad Astra is just another avenue or another platform that is celebrated at the Women's Venture Summit. So through the Ad Astra Bootcamp, I actually attended the investor workshop last year, but I've also been a part of the boot camps for entrepreneurs. So I can second what Vidya has said, has shared with you all, in that Sylvia and Allison and Vidya for the last 3 years have shared with each other all of this information and data that they've gathered from entrepreneurs like me and executive directors like Raven, who are wondering, okay, how is it that we navigate this landscape as women? And how is it that we navigate this landscape successfully as entrepreneurs? I know that with a lot of the women investors that I have met through Women's Venture Summit, through Ad Astra events, and through Stella Angels and Stella Labs, is that the majority of the women who are ready to become investors don't necessarily know what that next step looks like. And I see Ad Astra Bootcamp as that next step. Engage, immerse yourself in that experience of meeting entrepreneurs like me who will push back every time you say no, and become comfortable with that uncomfortable environment, right? Like, oh, maybe Anna's talking too much or her valuation is ridiculous. And let's communicate. Let's figure out how that works. As an entrepreneur, I loved having a firsthand view on all of that and having an ability to pitch investors that go through the boot camp and that I meet through the Stella Labs umbrella at Women's Venture Summit. It's because I'm now connected with a bigger group. I'm now part of a network. And as some of you may know, when you're a part of a network, it almost gives you instant validation. It doesn't mean that you will get an investment. It doesn't mean that if you invest in a company, you will be successful, but it does mean that you have this tribe, this network of women who have all done their due diligence, who have all done the work, and who know each other well enough to say, okay, I'm going to be a part of this boot camp to learn more about how to become an investor and actually invest, or I'm going to attend this Stella Labs event and pitch to some of the investors at the Ad Astra Bootcamp, just to get my feet wet as an entrepreneur and see what I can learn from the experience. But I'll end it with that, right? I think it's a learning experience all around to be a part of the Women's Venture Summit, where entrepreneurs and investors come together, but also to attend the Ad Astra Bootcamps, whether you're an investor or an entrepreneur, because there is a wealth of knowledge that is being shared by all of these women, and that Raven and team have done such a wonderful job at sharing with you at the Women's Venture Summit on September 19th.
So real quick, to go back to the investor boot camp, you have to be an accredited investor.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have 30 seats total available. Is there a cap?
It's a cap because we want to have a great experience. And so a lot of this is pairing up with entrepreneurs. You get to work with an entrepreneur and another investor in what we call the simulations. So you get a pitch and then you have a tool that you practice. You've just learned a tool, you go in there and you actually practice it. And then we come back and we talk about it. So to have a really good experience, to be able to connect with other people and actually meet other investors, we do cap it at 30. Yeah, we wish we could do more, but there's 3 of us. And so I think that's a limit to what we can handle right now, Raven.
Oh, well, I tried. For the entrepreneurial side, how do entrepreneurs engage in that?
So there's the entrepreneurs that are pitching at the investor workshop have gone through the founder bootcamp that Anna just talked about. So the reason we invited her in fact, first of all, she's fabulous. We love Anna. She's just like a fabulous entrepreneur. She's driven, she's determined, she's amazing. She went through the founder bootcamp last year, and we select a group of those founders. We invite them to come and pitch. Usually it's because they are raising, because everyone is an accredited investor. And so we want the ability to have benefits on both ends. Not only is it practice and simulations, but it's real. These are real investors and real entrepreneurs. So we invite people who are raising to come in and have a chance to participate and work with the other, the investment group. So that is, first piece of it is closed to people who've gone through the boot camp. There is founder boot camps that happen all the time. The next one is happening at the end of September. We just closed applications, but if you're interested, reach out to Raven, to Sylvia, and they'll give you information, because we'll put another founder boot camp on at the end of the year. And we have a number of an incredible women that Sylvia and Raven and team have pulled together through spreading this incredible event across the country. So we're excited to meet you. It's a really simple application process. And with that boot camp, you go through 4 half days with us and with investors, learning about frameworks, learning what makes you stronger. We really lean into the biases and how to combat them to make you a stronger entrepreneur and stronger and ready to get funding. And so those workshops, which again, Anna went through last year, are available. So I would love for you to reach out and connect with us. Where, this is what we're driven to do. And I see Sylvia's back on now, so she can add to the passion around us.
And whether it's Stella Labs or Ad Astra boot camps or the Women's Venture Summit, we're not shy on social media. We are publishing and promoting our own events constantly. So just get involved with the network. Be a part of one or all of our events. We welcome you to all of them. But as I started my journey was at the Women's Venture Summit. So hopefully I'll get to see you all there on September 19th.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I know that you had to kind of extend it out a little bit as we deliberated with the judges. Thank you, Vidya. Thank you, Anna. I just appreciate your guys' mission and, of course, our combined mission, Vidya, with Ad Astra Ventures. And Anna, it's just been a wonderful blessing to be your investor and watch you grow. So it's exciting to see you from pitching to like investing multiple years later and so many conversations. So thank you so much. And so without further ado, I'm going to announce, we're going to have all the ladies come in, right? From the founders. I just want to make sure we have that going on. Oh yeah, everybody's back. So wonderful. So yeah, so the judges really just loved every single one of your pitches. Your question answer were great. I mean, those questions were fantastic, kind of think and then maybe think a little bit more after today on how you can, improve and grow as founders. So we're really excited. So the winner of the San Diego Women's Fast Pitch is Sekr. By Breanne, Acio. And we have Yay! I go right into like what we need to do next. So congratulations, Breanne. And Brianna will be the one who kind of talks to you about why we chose, why they voted for you. Brianna?
Congratulations, Breanne. We talked about it, and with the milestones that you've been able to accomplish, as well as the current market that you're in, with the climate that we have going on, we really see this as an amazing opportunity to help people get out there, get out into the wilderness, camp, and have a good investment at the same time. So congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you pitch next week.
Wonderful,
Thank you
Breanne.
so
You want to
much.
say something, Breanne?
I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And like, I think Sylvia, many of you on the call video, Sylvia, even Caitlin, Raven, a lot of you, in other words, have seen me from my beginning stages and kind of running around with a chicken with its head cut off to right now where I feel like I've grown ahead. And I'm more so like what I'm trying to say is that Stella and like everything you all have done has really influenced me in my founder journey. I would not have had a chance if it weren't for the community that you all built. I just wouldn't have had a chance at all. So I am so grateful for everything you've done, and I'm excited that I was chosen.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And then the audience choice, we had everybody in the audience who's on YouTube Live vote. And the audience choice is Bliss Foods.
Thank you so much. Do I get a thank everyone? Thank you everyone for taking the time for voting for me, and Stella Labs and Women's Fast Pitch for this amazing opportunity. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we are winding down our time together. You female founders are just tenacious and determined and just fabulous examples of powerful founders who are making an impact in this world. So with that, definitely join us at the Women's Venture Summit, founders and investors out there. It's going to be an experience. We're going to find out who wins actually the finals there at Women's Venture Summit. We have over 25 keynotes speakers to learn from. We have a due diligence process that's interactive and gamified with a hackathon. So, and there's a platform that does this all. So really exciting to bring that to you. We have networking face-to-face. We even have a cocktail hour. So it's really an experience for 2 days that you have with us. We really have this mindfulness approach of getting people together, because that journey that Breanne talks about, it is a journey. It's an investor journey and a founder's journey, equally, walking side by side to create those connections. And this is part of what we do at the summit. So that is definitely important to us. And then I have 3 special announcements that I know that I've been sprinkling a little bit of thoughts throughout the time here that we have in the San Diego Women's Fast Pitch. So, we had 6 regions with women pitching, and we have founders and winners and finalists in all of those. But when we started this journey, the first round judges that actually scored all of the wonderful founders who applied, we have over 150 applications. The judges wanted to pick somebody who was a wild card. So they're like, oh my gosh, we really love this one founder, and she actually was one of the highest scoring founders along the first, tranche of judging. So with that, we wanted to announce tonight, very special announcement, because she's been waiting since she found out a couple of weeks ago. We said, you cannot say anything until we got to San Diego. So without further ado, I just wanted to really, you and the audience do not know this wonderful founder, but the person who will be the wild card winner, who will go on to the Women's Venture Summit, is Green Top Gifts, founded by Jacqueline Rogers. So congratulations, Jacqueline. She actually she has this wonderful consumer product company that has gift wrap, who has Clarence Claus on here. So these are the gift wraps, and she has other pieces which are gift bags with clearance on there, and wonderful stickers and socks and other pieces of consumer products. So we would love to have her come back. She knows it. Congratulations, Jacqueline. Our second special announcement is for all finalists. So I know some of you I've talked to, some of you, this is the first time that you're hearing this, founders, is that we really at Stella Labs really care about having investment opportunities for founders, but really to have checks being written. Okay, we don't, we think about that relationship build, but we really want to make sure that we facilitate that piece of check writing and making sure that those investment opportunities occur. In the past, with us being around for about 6 or 7 years, up to 6 or 7 years, we have always relied on Stella Angels to be able to have an angel group. We syndicated with different angels out there. And in the last 2 years, we've been able to have investments come out of the Women's Venture Summit, about 2.5 million, mostly led by Oriana, which has been a wonderful winner of the Women's Venture Summit. But this year, we are bringing an investment opportunity to all finalists, not just the winners. So all finalists, all of you that pitched today, to have special purpose vehicles to be set up with each and every startup. However, those investment vehicles will be pulled by investor demand. So we will announce this again at the Women's Venture Summit. We will have a booklet ready for all the finalists so that the investors can really look at what would be a great investment opportunity. And this actually is a great sponsorship opportunity that came out of our work with Next Wave Impact Fund. I'm on the investment committee there. And the people in back of it was Loon Creek Capital. So Loon Creek Capital came in, said, we have our visions, our missions aligned. We will lower our fees so that more investors can come in on this SPVs. We at Stella Labs said we will only put fees onto the investors at the very beginning of that SPV. We will take care of all the filing fees whenever we do have an exit. So we have this great partnership. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Loon Creek Capital, for working alongside us. We also, Cooley is coming in, lowering their fees also. So anybody who has an LLC, we have to have you be C Corps, and they are also in partnership with us to be able to have this opportunity come into the hands of female founders and female investors. So we're hoping to have those aspiring angels investors be able to write their first checks, and the existing angel investors to have that source come in and say, wow, this would be a great opportunity. So I'm just so excited. This has been a couple of weeks in the making. So it's just a great piece of this puzzle. And the third thing is more of kudos. So a special announcement is that this entire event, and also all of Women's Venture Summit, as many of you know, we very much pride ourselves in having an all-female team that leads us, that does all the video, the photography, the behind the scenes, the event planning, the executive director, the programming. All of that is all definitely female-led. If we have to source something as a gift, we get it from a female-led entrepreneur. That is at the ethos of who we are, is that we really empower every single piece of the value chain for any accelerator or ecosystem builder. So without further ado, I really wanted to take this time to really shout out Christine Lustig. She is the founder and CEO of All Joy Creative, an event planning and strategy company. She has been literally the event director of the whole Women's Fast Pitch and the Women's Venture Summit. So I wanted to just give you a great thank you and gratitude to you, as our last event is today. And also you're working on the Women's Venture Summit at the same time. And also secondly is that this platform that we're working on was really facilitated and brought together by two fantastic female founders that have created their own consulting firms. So the founders are Xiang and Anita St. Hilaire. They're co-founders of 3 Indigo, a full-service boutique tech consulting firm. And I'm going to pass it over to them because they're going to give their 90-second pitch. And I think
Hi, everyone.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Sylvia. Hi, my name is Nita St. Hilaire. I'm co-founder of 3 Indigo alongside Xiang. I want to thank Sylvia, Stella Labs, and the Women's Venture Summit for providing a platform for women founders. And to the finalists, Here's to a job well done today. It takes courage and tenacity to see things all the way through, and we commend you for bringing these valuable products and services to the world. We're rooting for you. At 3 Indigo, we take pride in providing unique resources to organizations of all types. We specialize in solutions that assist with operations, technology, and marketing, just to name a few. The platform used today and each week prior is Indigo Pitch. It's a custom branded video conference equipped with multicasting, live chat, and audience voting, all from the Women's Venture Summit site. It's one of our many offerings, and we were happy to answer the call to deploy this custom solution for Stella as part of our technology division.
Adding to that, we are excited to offer an introductory no-cost consultation and pitch deck assessment. We're thrilled to be a resource for founders and organizations at any level. I personally know how cumbersome it can be when you're fundraising and need to revise your pitch deck, or adding a new service and requiring a flush out to the financials or a go-to-market strategy. I myself dealt with this firsthand as I sat through many investor calls and stayed up countless nights stressing over pitch deck revisions. Our proprietary approach combines years of corporate finance, marketing, technology, and operational experience with a human-centered approach. Through our simplification process, we capture the heart and the mind of the organization in order to organize and elevate their investable voice. We invite you to visit our website, 3indigo.com, to learn more and schedule a virtual coffee date with us. Again, we are 3 Indigo, intelligent, intuitive, and impactful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I made them do a little pitch because they were the brains behind making sure that our platforms ran seamlessly every single week. And that was 6 weeks of just craziness every single week. So thank you so much. Thank you to the team. Thank you to the founders, and thank you to the judges today. We had a fabulous time really hearing from the ecosystem, our San Diego ecosystem. And again, a last plug, please come to the Women's Venture Summit. We can't wait to see you there. So join us. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.